Well, as our person that taught us, one of the people that taught us to blow glass, says glass is an amazing substance, and it truly is.
Yeah, after 20 years, I still really look forward to the 25-mile drive in there to see what we did yesterday. And everything has to go into an oven, and you don't really know what you did until the next day. And it's always exciting, and it's one of those crafts, arts that you never learn at all. And that's what holds my interest, I think.
It's such an old art. It's thousands of years old.
I came out from New Hampshire back in 1990, I guess. My sister was a pediatrician in Helena, and we moved our parents out from New Hampshire to help take care of them. They were both, getting senile and Alzheimer's and all. And a few months later, I got the call saying I need some help out here, which I was ready to come out. And so the whole family ended up here. And I've always been a musician and met Terry through doing music out in Helena.
And I'm from Hamilton originally, and I went to Helena to go to Carroll College. And I went through the nursing program at Carroll and worked at St. Peter's Hospital. And I met Jim playing in the parlor picking society.
I saw this when I was little at a fair back in New England somewhere, and there was a glass blower at this fair, and he made me a little bitty pitcher with a little yellow stripe and a little handle. I probably still have somewhere. I hope I do. I haven't seen it in years. But then, just that episode just stuck with me through 35 years of shoeing horses, running a blacksmith business, and I wore out. And this came to mind, and what fired the spark was reading a book, I think it was Dick Francis, called Shattered. And it was a murder mystery around a glass shop, and that really got me thinking about it. And my daughter was in vet school over in Washington. And so, well, there's a glass shop down the road from the school, and we gave them a call. And off we went for a 3-day lesson. And we were just hooked right from seeing the first bubble. And 20 years later, this is what it's turned into. Yeah, we did a year at home, and then we found this building. The people were coming out to the house, and it was just a really tiny room that we had the business set up in. There really wasn't room to have anybody there. So we started looking for a location. We went to Helena, we went to Livingston, and we decided instead of trying to fit into a larger town, we'd see if we could possibly stand out in a smaller town. And we stumbled into this location, and it was just a lucky break for us.
Right, the building was perfect.
Yeah, the building was perfect. It had never seen a coat of paint. It didn't have a window in it. We did a lot of work to it, but we got it pretty reasonable, and we just stumbled into this location on the main highway, which saved the whole operation, actually.
Yeah, the town couldn't have been friendlier. It was everybody was very welcoming, and however, we did have people betting that we wouldn't make it a year.
They were very welcoming and a little suspicious. We were opening up a pipe shop or something, which is something we've actually never done. It's just strictly an art glass operation.
We started off going to craft shows, and sit there and try to sell your wares, and people would come up and say, Do you just paint this stuff? No, you need to come and see how it's done. Hard to explain unless they can get a look and see that it's actually not painted. It's all glass. Well, the equipment's back here. We have a glory hole, a furnace, and an annealing oven, and the bench, and the marver. And you get a gather of glass colored up with the colored glass, which is made with different metal oxides to make the different colors. And it's just a process of, well, a lot of learning on how to color something up. You just dip in. I liken it to dipping a wad of honey into breadcrumbs. The colored glass sticks to the wad of glass that you get out of the furnace, which you get out of the furnace at 2,000 degrees, and melt it in the glory hole and manipulate your colors, twisting and raking and poking and pulling, and you end up with a pattern in the glass. And a lot of our creations have been accidental. Well, look what happens when you put this color on top of that color.
Terry loves to color. I love the mechanics of the operation. I wouldn't care if it had any color in it or not. So my color creations aren't quite as good as what Terry usually comes up with.
Yeah, that's not true. We've named some of our creations because it'll remind us of butterfly wings. So one of our old go-to color patterns is, we call it the Monarch series. We used to have a lichen series. We used to have a...
We have the Perfect Storms.
Perfect Storm. Yeah.
And they've all been accidents that we just discovered that something really neat happens when you put these two colors together.
And sometimes they look awful together, different colors. I've been here going into I think we're going into our 19th year here.
I made a piece yesterday, which we'll probably show you later. It ran away with me. I was swinging it out and it just got too long. And over the years, every piece like that has broken somewhere later in the process. And I saved this one, and that was the most rewarding thing that's happened here in a year to me, was that my timing's improved enough over the years to get things figured. Things that were really difficult long ago, certain sized lampshades and things that we've done over the years that were just inviting disaster. We figured out how to cope with them, and that's the rewarding part to me, is mastering some small mechanical part of this whole operation.
You still have your utter failures, though. You think, I've got this, and at the last minute, it goes out the window.
You don't get too cocky with anything until it's in the oven.
Yeah. And even then, you can open up the annealer and the whole thing's cracked in half. And it's all a matter of timing. Do you ever burn yourself? Nope. It's really obvious what not to touch.
Yeah.
Jim's got some of the best burns. Oh man. Ow.
But we get asked a lot, do you burn yourself? That's one of the big questions. But it's three things I enjoy doing. It's flying, tending my bees, and this.
And playing music.
Yeah. And they're all inherently safe until you get careless for a second. And then they'll come to bite you. Not so much in music.
No.
You ask Bill Gudenrat that. That's, he's one of our glass blowing heroes. And
Concert pianist.
He's a concert pianist and one of the world's best glass blowers. He runs the glass blowing section of the Corning industry out in New York. And And the first glass video we ever saw was him playing some little concert on his grand piano, and then it just segued into him blowing just a perfect little glass. And we've come to know Bill over the years, and yeah, it's, you can see it in my father even. He was a musician. He used to play silent movies, and a watercolor artist when in his later years, after his working years.
Your dad was a fabulous artist. We ran into Bill Gudenrath out at Corning. Jim, isn't that Bill Gudenrath?
That's the guy.
That's the guy on that video we watched. It was pretty exciting to meet him. We went to lunch with them downstairs.
We snuck up behind him and we go, Mr. Gudenrath, call me Bill. All right, Bill.
We got
he made us a
his
little
pieces over there in our case, our little museum case. We invite kids to come in. We often had entire classes show up, or groups of people. They're welcome to come in. It's good to call ahead, make sure that we're going to be working that day. We've got to do some repairs on the furnace in our near future. We've got a kind of a hole in the furnace, which is not a good thing.
We have lots of homeschool groups and classes from all over the state, and even out of state. Come through.
I think it gives kids a good appreciation for what goes into making glassware. It's of course, most of the glassware they use is automated.
We have some class pictures on the wall over here. Thank you notes and stuff from the third graders that have come, and people come in here now and they have kids and they recognize themselves on the little pictures on the wall. It's fun.
Putting up with the heat. It's pretty brutal in the middle of the summer.
High heat and a low paycheck. A lot of people come in and just can't get over how expensive things are. They don't understand what it takes to keep a furnace running at 2,000 degrees 24/7. And it's an expensive business to run. Nobody does this as a hobby. You're either doing this or you're not. It's not like there's other glass blowing operations that operate off a torch. And when you're done with your session, you turn your torch off. And you're done until you're ready to go again. Well, you're committed to running this. We ran it 7 days a week for 7 years.
And people would say, "Why do you work 7 days a week?" And Jim would say, "Because there aren't 8."
It's 7 days a week.
Yeah.
We were making some money, and
we were at least covering the expenses.
Yeah. But we've gotten old. Now we only work 6 days, and we're trying to trim that down to 5. Just in case anybody watches this wonders why we're not here Wednesday. We're thinking about going to 5 days a week and seeing if we can work out the next few years. We have probably about a 5-year plan for.
We say that every year.
Every year.
Gotta do this another 5 years.
We'll try. We'd like to sell this place off as a glass shop maybe 4 or 5 years. But then I wouldn't know what to do with myself. We'll figure that out. It depends what mood we're in. We've seen some kids come through. I say kids, in their 20s that have been working with glass for a few years and had some really good instruction, and they're clearly going somewhere. But people like us that got into it late, and the first, and you're just having trouble paying the bills, you want to tell somebody, just get your working life done over with, and then get into one of the arts if that's what you want to do. Because if you have to be putting kids through school or something, doing something like this, it's tough.
And we have to remind ourselves we're in Townsend, Montana, where we depend on people that live locally to help us pay the bills. We're not in Seattle where we can charge double the price for a piece.
It was a big discussion we had that we have to keep our prices to where anybody in town can come in here and afford to get something. It's not. It's part of the deal. People come in and some people complain that we should be getting 3 times what we're getting for our stuff. So we couldn't. So we don't want to live where you have to get that kind of money. We don't want to live here. So it's funny this.